Do people consider you lazy, but you're just overwhelmed? And have you ever considered Stoicism as a benefit for your life? If you can relate to these questions, watch the end because this video will hopefully help you sharpen your focus and dive more into Stoic principles that I believe will help you out. That first practice is called Seneca's method, which also is called negative visualization. This method helps you kind of mentally simulate losses daily by going through the motions in your mind over time. Seneca believed most suffering isn't from what happens, but from the shock of it happening. So he trained his mind to be anti-fragile by rehearsing potential losses before they occurred. So to put it quite simply, you imagine things that you value about or that you value and imagine yourself losing it, whether that's your job, your status, people you care about, not in a masochistic type of way or not in a nihilism type of way, but as a rehearsal because it helps strip yourself of that false security and it kind of teaches you not to panic. Seneca's goal wasn't nihilism, it was detachment from illusion. When you mentally prepare for loss, you 1. Reduce fear and dependency. 2. You increase appreciation for what you have. And 3. You become more calm and steady when hardship hits. You can use this if you feel yourself kind of coasting and also to help you stop overplanning. Because if you want to kind of overthink things, then once you put everything out in perspective, like what would happen if you fail this project and you break things down, then it will essentially help you become more present in that moment and just take the action you need to do to go forward, right? Also, if you use this mindset as well, it helps you kind of think of things as you working on borrowed time given to you by somebody else, which in turn will make your actions more sharper. For myself in the military, I used to do courses behind the scene. When I first joined, I was seen as a low average or average individual because people didn't really think I would amount to much. Because I wasn't very social. I wasn't very, I guess, as outstanding-ish personality like my other peers that I had. This second practice is voluntary discomfort by Epictetus. He believed that growth comes from self-imposed adversity. Epictetus believed most people are soft because they never choose to suffer. They wait for life to force them into pain. He flipped that script. If you want to build strength, impose adversity on yourself before life does. So essentially what this means is use the discomfort moments in your life that you expose yourself to as a sort of training and not punishment. Now, for you as an introvert, what does that mean? For you, that means to kind of expose yourself more to being more social, to harder workouts, to sleep discipline, focus on your sleep, focus on eating well, stuff on those lines, right? You build that pressure tolerance within yourself that way, that you're able to put more pressure on yourself to be better and in turn will help you grow higher, higher, higher. So for myself in the military, whenever I felt like I was getting a little bit too comfortable, right, which is rare to happen, but whenever I felt myself getting a little bit too comfortable, I always forced myself to do things that I didn't want to do. For example, the first time was back in about 2017 when I wanted to go become a CMC instructor, which is a combat marksmanship coach, teaching other people how to shoot and how to shoot yourself and learn the basic dynamics behind it, right? I failed that course, but I stepped outside my comfort zone because I felt a little bit too comfortable. I can't do that. I passed again down the years, but essentially take the time to be uncomfortable in your life. Whenever you feel yourself become too comfortable, like you're coasting, take a step out, put adversity on yourself, and it'll help yourself build and help yourself become stronger. Because that's where character is really built. Practice number 3 is the dichotomy of control, which means you need to control your inputs and not your outcomes. It's this mindset or this thing you can try called focus inputs, where you focus your inputs on what you can do to kind of make the outcome of the goal better and more achievable, right? You place 100% of your focus on what you're currently doing in that moment and just delete the focus of the outcome in general, right? And you kind of essentially let go of the algorithm, let go of people's reactions to what you do or what they say, of their perceptions of who you are. Because you focus only on things that you can't control yourself. You can't control the weather. You can't control people's perceptions of you. You can't control whether someone will be happy about you or not. But you can control how you feel about yourself. You can't control the actions you do every single day, right? And once you focus on that, those tactical actions are what comes from clarity that you build on. What those tactical actions are what you can use to build that clarity for yourself every single day. Now, I don't really deal with this much, but the most recent thing I could think of was when I sometimes, I usually don't, but I compare myself to other YouTubers of who's higher than me, right? I learned over time that that's what you should be doing, but don't do it to the point where it suffocates you of your progress, right? You don't really take advice from someone who's not doing what you're doing or doing less than what you're doing. You take advice or you compare yourself to people who are doing better than what you're doing or on the same level as you, right? But I recommend always doing better because if you try to catch up to people who's doing better, then you're going to eventually pass them. And then you're going to go to somebody else who's doing better than you and eventually pass them. But do so not in a self-inducing type of way. Do so as a way for you to be better. Hey, so I just want to take a quick break from the video to tell you about these two things. The Clarity to Control Challenge, which is essentially a 5-day group call where I essentially answer your questions to help you kind of ease your mind. It could be questions from anything from your goals to how you can like clear your mind if you feel stressed out, anything, right? I do those for 5 days, answer any questions you may have, and provide my insights based on what I learned over time and from others to help you improve your life. That second one is the execution system for those high achievers or anyone else who think they apply, who feel kind of burnt out because they're tired. They do the right things all the time, but sometimes they still feel directionless. It's like you have the map, but you don't know where to go to. And that's what that system is there for. All you have to do is click the link in the description and give it a try. But back to the video. So practice number 4 is Memento Mori, which means remember, you will die. Now, Marcus Aurelius had this saying that you can leave life right now. And think about it like this. Death isn't really morbid. It just makes you sharper, right? Because it helps you kill that indecision. Maybe it helps you stop doom scrolling through TikTok and Instagram. Maybe it helps you take actions now instead of waiting until later because you know you're going to die. You just don't know the exact time or place, but you're going to die. And whether you know or not, the things you do now will be just your legacy for the future, right? Myself, I'm not a nihilist or a nihilist on however that saying goes. I don't think about death or I'm not atheist or anything like that. But I think about death a lot when it comes to making decisions, help me do certain tasks. Because I believe if you think about death more, then it helps you become more clear and help you focus more on what things you can do in your life, right? And if you take that step forward when you're afraid, when you're scared, that's the benefit of thinking about death. The last time I felt very bad about someone dying, nowadays I'm not very emotional, right? I'm more in the gray area. I never really feel emotions that much. I feel them, but that's it. I don't. I react logically and not emotionally. But the last time I really felt emotional about death was my granddad when I was, I believe, 11 years old. And that hit me hard because I got a call saying that Juan, which is my middle name, I guess my mom or my grandmother or somebody caught my stepdad in the truck and he told me, Juan, your granddad died. I didn't believe him at first. I thought it was a joke, but it hit hard and still do to this day. And I'm grateful at the time I'm grateful I spent the time I did with him. He was a pastor. He worked at the Boys and Girls Club as a staff there. Great man. I'm glad I got to experience that with him. And even now, as you can see, I'm, I don't know, it hits now still. Like, how long has it been? Like 20? No, I'm 27. It's been like 15 years, I'm assuming. I'm bad public mouth, but it still hits hard to this day. But I think that's about the only death that really hits me hard so far.